So if you've ever tried to run a standard analog video cable more than, say, 50 feet, you know exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah.
The image just, it falls apart, you get ghosting, signal loss. Physics is just not your friend.
Right. Analog signals degrade so fast. And in places like, warehouses or big offices, you can't just keep the computer next to the screen.
No.
You might need to cover 200 or 300 feet.
Which brings us to the hardware for today's deep dive. It's the NTI ST-C5V-300. It's a VGA and audio extender. And the really interesting part isn't just that it extends the signal, it's how it does it. You get to skip all that expensive, heavy video cabling.
It does. It just leans on the infrastructure that's probably already in your walls.
You mean network cable?
Exactly. The system has a local unit by the computer and a remote unit by the display, and it connects them with standard CAT5 or SCT6, just regular network wire.
Okay, see, that's the part that really jumps out at me. You're pushing a high bandwidth analog video signal down a simple twisted pair wire.
Yeah.
I mean, normally that's a recipe for terrible interference, right?
It can be, but this NTI unit, it claims to support resolutions up to 1920 by 1440.
Wow.
Yeah. That's really high for an analog signal traveling the length of a football field. Their own documentation calls it the sharpest and clearest VGA quality over CAT5.
Claim is the key word, but looking at the specs, they seem to have thought about that. There's a manual adjustment dial for video quality.
Yes, and that is such a critical feature. You can't just plug and play at 300 feet and expect a perfect image.
Right.
That little dial lets you fine-tune the signal timing to match the exact length of the cable you're using.
Right.
It basically tunes out all the fuzziness.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual installation, because that's where these projects can get really painful. I was looking at the remote unit, the box behind the monitor, and I don't see a power input.
Nope. And that is probably the smartest design choice they made.
It pulls power through the network cable.
It does. The local unit sends low-voltage power right down the CT5 cable alongside the video and audio signals.
Which means you don't have to call an electrician to install a new outlet in the ceiling next to your digital sign?
Exactly. It makes the whole thing so much simpler. It reduces points of failure. It cuts down on cost. And they even include mounting brackets so you can just screw it to the wall.
So who is actually using this? I was looking at the compatibility list, and it's like a time capsule. It has Windows 10, sure, but it also lists Windows 2000, Solaris, FreeBSD, even Mac OS 9.
And that tells you everything. This isn't for your home theater.
No.
This is for keeping legacy industrial systems running. You might have an old Sun server or a Linux box that runs a factory floor. You can't just replace it, but you need to move the display.
So it's bridging the gap between, like, 1990s computing and a modern building layout.
Precisely. And the build quality reflects that. The mean time between failures, the MTBF for the local unit, is rated at almost 90,000 hours.
90,000. That's what, over 10 years of running 2047?
10 years. And it has built-in surge protection.
Oh, that's important.
Super important. If you're running copper 300 feet through a factory, it's going to pick up electrical noise. This stops it from frying the video card on that old, irreplaceable server.
So for about $290, you're buying a solution that lets you keep your reliable old hardware in a safe place, run cheap, easy to pull Ethernet cable, and put a screen wherever you need it.
Yep. It turns a really complex electrical problem into a pretty simple routing issue.
It just goes to show how versatile the infrastructure in our buildings really is. You look at a network port and just think internet, but it's just copper wire. And with the right little translator box on each end, like this NTI unit, that wire can do almost anything. It can even keep decades-old tech relevant today.
Just because the hardware is legacy doesn't mean the solution has to be.
Something to think about the next time you look at the wiring in your walls. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive.